Before God ever reveals a blessing in your life, He prepares you for it in ways you don't always recognize. Sometimes that preparation feels slow, uncomfortable, or even confusing, but it's never wasted. God works in the quiet seasons, in the unseen moments, shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and stretching your capacity so that when the blessing arrives, you're able to carry it. Many people want the blessing, but they're not ready for the weight that comes with it. God loves you too much to give you something you're not prepared to handle. So He takes time to build you, mature you, and root you deeply so you don't collapse when your blessing becomes visible. There are seasons where it feels like nothing is happening, but that's exactly where the most important work is taking place. Just like a seed pushes through darkness before it ever touches sunlight, your spirit develops in hidden places. You grow when no one is clapping for you. You grow when no one notices your efforts. You grow when you feel overlooked. Those moments aren't punishment, they're preparation. God is getting you ready for something that won't just affect your life, but will influence everyone connected to you. And the preparation isn't just about building strength, it's about alignment. God aligns your mindset, your habits, your relationships, your opportunities, and even your thoughts so that when He brings the blessing, you walk into it confidently, not fearfully. If He revealed it too soon, it would overwhelm you. But when He reveals it at the right time, it elevates you. That's why you must stay faithful while He's preparing you. Don't rush the process. Don't fear the waiting. Don't assume silence means absence. God is preparing you for a blessing so big. It requires a strengthened version of you to receive it. Get ready. God is about to show your blessing to everyone. Sometimes we look around and feel like everyone else is moving ahead while we're standing still. We see people getting opportunities, breakthroughs, and answers we've been praying for, and it can make us question ourselves. But what we often forget is that God is not delaying your blessing, He's timing it. He's arranging things in a way that when the blessing appears, it won't just be another moment in your life. It will be a testimony that speaks for itself. God knows exactly when to reveal what He has prepared for you, and when He does, it will be undeniable. There are seasons where it feels like nothing is working, but behind the scenes, God is aligning people, circumstances, and opportunities. He's not hiding your blessing from you. He's positioning it where it will make the greatest impact. If it came too early, it might not carry the same weight. If it showed up before you were ready, you might not be able to sustain it. God reveals blessings in moments where they don't just change your life, they silence doubt, remove confusion, and lift your faith to a new level. And sometimes God waits to reveal your blessing because He wants certain people to see it, not to embarrass anyone, but to demonstrate His faithfulness. The ones who underestimated you, the ones who doubted you, the ones who thought nothing would come out of your struggle, they will witness what God brings into your life, and not one of them will be able to deny His hand on you. God's timing ensures that your blessing becomes a message, a reminder that He never forgets the seeds you planted, the tears you cried, or the faith you held on to when nothing made sense. So don't be discouraged by the pace of your progress. What God is preparing for you is worth the wait. When He reveals it, it will be seen, felt, and celebrated by everyone around you. Get ready. God will show your blessing to everyone. There are seasons in life when the struggles feel so heavy that you start to wonder if anything good could ever come out of them. You look at the disappointments, the rejections, the moments you felt forgotten, and you think, how can this possibly lead to anything meaningful? But what we often don't see, while we're in the middle of the storm, is that God is shaping a testimony inside us. The very battles you thought would break you are becoming the foundation of the blessing He's preparing to reveal. Every tear you shed, every night you questioned your strength, every setback that made you feel small, none of it was wasted. God has a way of taking what feels painful and turning it into something powerful. The struggle is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a transformation that will one day speak louder than your words ever could. People might see the blessing when it arrives, but they won't understand the depth of the journey that produced it. And that journey, with all its highs and lows, becomes your testimony. What you're going through now is preparing you for the moment when God reveals something so beautiful that it makes every hardship make sense. The rejection you faced is building resilience, the losses are creating wisdom, the delays are refining your faith. You are being strengthened by the very things that tried to weaken you. And when God brings you through to the other side, your story won't just inspire you, it will inspire everyone who watched you keep going when you had every reason to quit. People will look at your life and see proof that God restores, God heals, God elevates, and God never wastes a struggle. Your testimony will carry weight because it was not formed in comfort, it was formed in the fire, and when the blessing appears, it will shine even brighter because of what you survived to reach it. Get ready, God will show your blessing to everyone. There comes a point in your journey where God begins to elevate you in ways that even you didn't expect, and He does it in places where everyone can see it, not because He wants to create competition, not because He wants to embarrass anyone, but because there are people who need to witness what He's been doing in your life all along. Some people doubted you because they only saw your struggle, not your preparation. They judged your silence, not your sacrifice. They measured your setbacks, not your strength. But God sees everything, and when the time is right, He lifts you in a way that no one can overlook. There were moments when people looked at you and assumed you were finished. They thought the delay was defeat. They thought the hardship was the end. They thought your quiet season meant you had nothing left. But what they didn't know was that God was preparing something for you that needed time to mature. And now, when He begins to reveal it, it becomes clear why He allowed certain things to happen the way they did. The same people who questioned your worth will watch God unfold a blessing that confirms you were never forgotten. And understand this, God's elevation is intentional. He blesses you in front of those who underestimated you, not to prove them wrong, but to show that His hand has always been on you. He wants them to see that no one can block what He has ordained. He wants them to recognize that His timing is perfect and His favor is real. When God lifts you, it happens in such a way that even those who didn't believe in you can't deny what He's done. So, don't worry about who overlooked you, who counted you out, or who walked away. When God decides to show what He's been preparing, every eye will see, every doubt will fade, and every voice that questioned you will fall silent. Because His blessing speaks louder than anything else, get ready, God will show your blessing to everyone. There are seasons when staying faithful feels harder than anything else. You show up, you pray, you believe, you keep moving forward, yet nothing seems to change, and in those moments, it's easy to wonder if God even notices your consistency. But what you may not realize is that your faithfulness in the waiting is the very thing positioning you for the blessing that's on its way. God doesn't just look at what you're asking for. He looks at how you carry yourself while you wait for it. Your patience, your steadiness, your trust in Him, even when the silence gets heavy, that's what prepares you for what He's about to reveal. There's a beauty in perseverance that we often overlook. When you keep going without applause, when you keep believing without evidence, when you keep praying without immediate answers, heaven takes notice. God is aligning things behind the scenes in ways you cannot see. Just because your situation looks still doesn't mean God is still. Every day you stay faithful, He's positioning something, shifting something, strengthening something inside you. And when the moment comes, you will realize that your consistency wasn't ignored. It was the key that opened the door. Sometimes God uses the waiting season to refine intentions, to strengthen character, to deepen trust. It's in the waiting that you discover what you truly believe. It's in the waiting that you learn to hear God's voice above your fears. And it's in the waiting that your faith grows roots deep enough to hold the weight of the blessing that's coming. If God gave you everything too quickly, you might celebrate it but not sustain it. Faithfulness builds the endurance needed to stand strong when the blessing appears. So keep showing up even when it feels unnoticed. Keep trusting even when you can't see the next step. Keep believing even when the answers seem delayed, because one thing is certain: the blessing God reveals after a season of faithfulness hits different. It carries a depth, a power, and a joy that only those who endured the waiting can truly understand. Get ready. God will show your blessing to everyone. When God reveals a blessing in your life, it's never meant to stay contained within your own story. God doesn't just bless you to lift you. He blesses you so your life becomes a light for others. There are people watching you, listening to you, learning from you, even without you realizing it. Your breakthrough becomes an answer they've been praying for. Your victory becomes proof that God still moves, still restores, still opens doors. What He does for you ends up igniting hope in someone who felt like giving up. And that's why the blessing He's preparing is bigger than your personal comfort. It carries influence, it carries purpose, it carries assignment. When God shows your blessing publicly, it's not for applause, it's for impact. People will see what He has done in you and be reminded that their story isn't finished either. Someone will hear your testimony and find the courage to keep going. Someone will witness your elevation and realize that God can lift them too. Someone will see your answered prayer and finally believe that their prayer matters. Your life becomes a message without you even preaching a sermon. The change in you, the strength in you, the joy in you, those things speak louder than anything you could say. God uses your transformation to open hearts that were closed, to heal people who were hurting, to awaken faith in those who had lost it. And sometimes the blessing He reveals isn't just about blessing others, it's about drawing them closer to Him. Your story becomes a doorway through which others step into hope. So when God blesses you, receive it with gratitude, but also with awareness. You're not just being lifted, you're being positioned. You're not just being promoted, you're being prepared to inspire. Your blessing is not just a gift, it's an assignment wrapped in favor, and when it begins to shine, it will illuminate more than your path. It will light the way for many. Get ready, God will show your blessing to everyone.